about him?
It's early, and the biggest thing, right, with this program is that we continue to improve each and every day. But, I'm not sure it's not too early to start talking about this guy being one of the best players in the country. We were better on third down today, but I think that we're going to look at some things, and we need to execute better. Without Cole Payton, we don't stay on the field. Third down grit, quarterback grit and toughness at an all-time high today. I don't know. Those two players are on the ground injured. He's just, right now, he's playing at a high level. And when he takes off running, that's just as dangerous as his arm. He's got a chance to put together a pretty special North Dakota State quarterback football season here. I'm really pleased with Cole, and I know he'll stay humble and hungry so he can handle that. He's playing at an all-time high right now as far as playmaking and capitalizing on good situations, and I think he's doing a really nice job.
Parika seems to have big game after big game. Obviously, coming into the season, a little bit of a question mark at running back, and having him have this type of season he's having so far, what do you say about that?
Well, here's the deal with Parika. He can hurt you in the run and pass, and that's a positive thing. A couple screen passes help his numbers. I thought he threw it in there aggressively today. That's one of the things that I'm curious or interested in looking at is, was there a little bit more out there in the two-back, in the one-back run game? I think both of those guys are complementing each other really, really well right now. We're healthy at that spot. Owen hasn't had many opportunities, but specifically Parika, I think he's playing at a high level. The touchdown run was really good. There was a crease in there, but then there's some contact, making yards after contact. He's practicing really well, and we're going to need him down the stretch.
Bill's 301 yards against North Colorado, 38 today was a difference there.
Yeah, and you're talking about the quarterback, Jeff, is that what you said? Oh, yeah, Phillips. Well, I thought our game plan, it's interesting, we're all growing together a little bit still. And me and Grant had a really good plan, and I was like, yep, that's how I want to approach this. I hardly even had to say anything or be in there. We were going to attack these guys in one high defense and then see if they can handle our pass rush. And I thought equal to stopping the run the way we did. We got some early hits on the quarterback, and that kind of, you could just tell he wasn't comfortable in the pocket. But they're going to make some yards in this league. I don't think that's a team that's going to struggle to run the ball week in and week out. That's a pretty good offensive line. I'd like to hope that we can improve and that we're pretty good. We're pretty good up front on defense.
I feel like your linebackers just keep getting better and better.
Yeah, it's funny, with the keys to victory and some of the things we were talking about today, they just weren't a point of emphasis. And it's interesting to me, I think they played really well today. And I know we complimented the Wolfpack, the secondary. We complimented the hits up front from the D-line. It just appeared to me that they had some timely blitzes, too, that Grant dialed up. And then we were Johnny on it. We were right in the right spots, and we were getting some knockdowns that way. I thought Peter Huggo flashed today. Nathaniel, with the big pick. And Logan Kopp just gets kind of hidden, but he's so consistent and playing so well, right? Defense is playing well. I mean, they really are. That was, I was concerned about, excuse me, I was a little bit concerned about the bye week. Just would it take us a quarter or something to get ready, and then all of a sudden it's a game. Our intent in preparation and the look that we had in that run-through last night and this morning, I really felt really good about the way we're going to start this game.
Was the offense running the same, complexity that Cam Miller ran it last year? Is the same, I don't know what the word is.
Yeah, it was funny. They showed up in a front there on second and medium. I said, Dan, I thought we don't have a tendency on 2nd and 5, after a run to just go pass. We're really balanced right now. We have a couple tendencies that we're going to get squared away. Cam may have adjusted protections a few more times because I don't think we've seen as much blitz as we've had in the past. Now, there could be a perimeter player that's decreasing the amount of pressure we're getting. And so I would say Cole hasn't had to adjust protections, but he's managing the run game beautifully. He had a couple 2-3 checks today where he flipped runs, and he's been on point with that.
Speaking of Bryce, another 4 catches today, quiet in the second half because he didn't need to be loud in the second half. But talk about his game.
Well, really good, and I think he's going to want to come up with that ball in the end zone, just some way, somehow, just be better than the guy covering him. The impact that he's having on coverages right now is I've never been part of a passing offense in my entire career where one guy is shifting and tilting the secondary, and that's going to pay dividends for us. The boundary safety today in one high stayed on the boundary hash because Bryce was to the boundary. and we just didn't execute. Cole had a big run instead, but we didn't execute getting the ball to the field. We have to be able to leverage that, not only in the pass game, but in the run game, and to cultivate matchups. The one screen to the running back that should have came out, or that could have came out, they had called a 4-trap coverage because Bryce was lined up at number 3. So there was a safety and a backer aware of him to the boundary. It was just a corner and a linebacker. And if we could have got freed up in there, that screenplay would have been big, and Bryce would have been one of the guys that was at the point of attack. Raja's playing really good football.
And the linebackers, into the season with the inexperience with Staehling and Donovan. And then on the pick six, it was Nathaniel was a beneficiary, but Donovan made the
Yeah. You know what? Homecoming weekend, I think Craig's in town. The Craig Bowl and double repping slightly eases our feeling on an inexperienced player playing. Okay, they have as much volume typically as the starters do from the year before. You know, they're the ones out there in the double reps, and so that makes us feel really good about the amount of pitchers and looks that they've seen at least. I can honestly say I haven't had any doubts that Nathaniel was going to play good football this year. And then with Donovan last year, I mean, he got a lot of 2 reps, and we were chomping at the bit to play him. But he's probably the guy out of all of them that's playing even better than I thought he could.
Tim, how much of today was born out of what happened at the end of the game in Vermillion last year?
Our guys wanted to win, but I do think our guys want to win every game. But I don't mind a little extra. You know, I stopped talking about it on Thursday. No more about the past or what happened in the past. What matters is how we handle Friday and Saturday. Tom, our preparation was really, really good. I thought our plan that the leadership supported for the bye week, how strong we are right now, and the intentional focus. I mean, when you got the quarterback group still coming up here on Thursday at 6 a.m. to study tape, and then I'm recognizing some DNs watching extra tape, the O-line's down there, everybody just kind of stayed on the gas. And so I'd like to hope not very much, just that we wanted to go out there and be the best version of ourselves. And it was unfortunate. I thought we'd get a couple more kick return opportunities and maybe even a punt return opportunity. Their punter, again, did a good job of pounding the ball and just limiting our opportunities with special teams. But we were ready to go. I wanted that win. I did. I didn't think I had the guys ready to go in the first quarter last year, excuse me. And just there was a bitter taste. You know, we got to dominate every opportunity we get to play, but every Dakota game is very important to me and to us in this region.
How is USD different than they were a year ago?
They lost some talented guys. They did. I think, you know, when you start talking about the playmakers in the slot, number 7's been out, you know, Pierre. I mean, those are some pretty critical guys that can make you miss in space. But more importantly was how we dictated the terms of the fight today. They only ran 19 plays in the first half to our 46. And so now as a play caller, you're just trying to get drives started rather than thinking about all the exotic things you could get to. So we kept them off balance. To their credit, they played the full 60 today. I have no problem with that. But really, I think we gave up 250 yards. We had a lot of freshmen out there playing at the end, and I was really pleased with Woods getting out there, getting his first taste. You know, Elijah continues to play. Chris Keel on the return. You know, that was a tough play. I'm sorry, I don't even remember what you asked me, but yeah, and I don't. Well, they're not as, you know, gosh, that old line last year was every bit as good as anybody in the league, and I know they've got good coaches, and they'll continue to, you know, improve and get better. And I still think that's a club that could make the playoffs. I really do.
Getting the league win to start the way you did, you know, and especially with the rest of the league not playing today. What
Yeah,
about that?
it's one of those things too. Like, I appreciate you guys bringing up some questions because I took a deeper dive. Like, our Missouri Valley football's here, and that's fun. That's what makes, you know, North Dakota State a great place. This is an unbelievable football conference, and we can write the stories however we want to write it. Bottom line is the Bison showed up today, and we played well. And I think when we play well and we prepare well and we improve, I think we have a chance to reach all of our goals and to reach our full potential, and that's what's fun. Missouri Valley football is fun. I mean, I'm really interested to see the scores right now, and I think there's some real parity. We're going to see if people can, you know, get better week to week because I'm going to bet on the Bison will.
Reese Kessel found the end zone for the first time. Just how have you seen him evolve into his role?
He missed an opportunity, and I promise you, I'm so mad at him because we dialed up a perfect double move. and he made the wrong decision. A redshirt freshman. Reeks Kessel's going to be a good player for us here. You know, he really is. I mean, his feel for four verticals, I talked about that. You guys, a guy that had the ability to stretch the field vertically. And then again, like that catch, it wasn't like he was just wide open waving his hands. He had to go up there. It was contested. Reese's role, I'm not sure if it'll expand or how many more balls will come to him. We've got several playmakers. But Reese will probably end up getting an opportunity or two or three to make an impactful difference in each game coming up. I like how Reese is developing.
Health-wise, how'd you come out of this game?
I asked Trish, I said, any surprises or anything? And she said, nope, we're good to go. And so, again, we're kind of, we're on one, and it's been a physical camp, and we had an 8-week training session, and our guys are in good position, and we'll take care of them, and we'll be ready to go. Yeah, Chris did. Chris pushed and pushed and pushed, and then to Crutchley's, Crutch just said, Coach, you got to trust me. I know this guy. He feels really good, because I was a little bit just on edge on how he made a turn or two on Thursday, but Chris made it back, so he'll be full go, and then that just allows another body in there. And then we'll get Isaiah St. Romain. He dinged up his shoulder, but we held him today, so the receiver group is full go. And to have Chris does have a presence, and when he's out there with us, it's really helpful. Ray will get more information on. You guys are going to have to remind me, if it's not Tuesday, it'll be later in the week. That could be significant, or it could be just a 1-week pain tolerance thing, and we can get through the season.
Cole, what'd you see out there in their secondary and some openings there with your receivers?
Yeah, I mean, it was a team that didn't bring a lot of pressure, and we knew that going into the game, and played a lot of zone coverage, and so our guys were finding the holes, and we were executing at a high level.
Feel a little bit like Johnny Football out there running around, whether it was with your legs or however you were making plays.
Yeah. I mean, so part of that was, they like to drop 8 guys, on third down. And I was talking to Coach Larson at the end of this week of preparation. He's like, don't be afraid to just use your legs. Obviously, with drop 8, it's hard to throw the ball through the air. So yeah, that was an emphasis for sure.
Third down, you guys are pretty proficient today. Describe the difference with that and what that does.
Yeah, obviously that was something we needed to improve on. The SEMO game, our percentage was poor, and so having that bye week and focusing on third down conversions and then, like I said, using my feet and guys getting open and us making plays and then blocking for us. So.
What's your confidence level just keep on? What's it like when they keep on rising with their big game after big game that you've been able to have?
Yeah, that just goes back to all of our preparation. I've been working on this, for this for a long time, and these guys around us have been putting in the work, and these coaches believe in us, and we believe in each other, and so, yeah.
Nathaniel, talk about your interception. What did you see?
Well, drop back. I know Donovan. That play would not have happened if Donovan didn't make also a great play. And I saw that ball up in the air. First thought, obviously, to catch it, and then it was to beat Aiden Bauman to the end zone and then celebrate with the teammates. But that wouldn't have happened if Donovan didn't hit that ball up. So I was just in the right place at the right time. So.
Bryce, is it too early to start talking about that other Payton, not this one, but that award with this guy?
Oh, yeah, I don't think anybody's, definitely not Cole is worried about that, but we have all the faith in the world in Cole, and he knows that. So every time we go on the field, we breathe confidence and faith into him, and obviously that shows on the field. So.
Nate, can you describe you limited their running back Phillips, but he kind of been cashing teams the last couple of weeks. I think he had 40 yards today. Slowed him down. How would you describe how your front seven played in run game?
Well, I think overall our defense is very cohesive. I think we're playing very fast. We're playing hard. We're playing together, filling those gaps. With those guys up front, they're getting incredible knockback. Jackson, Toby, Kelton, Keenan, Logan, those guys are all doing a fantastic job. And when they do a great job, it makes the 3 linebackers' job and even the safety job a little bit easier. So those guys are playing fantastic, and I'd be remiss if I didn't give them a shout out because they're playing great.
Those 301 yards he got against Northern Colorado, obviously you paid attention to that. Did that get your attention?
Yeah, I saw it, but it's just a stat. We're just gonna go out and play our hardest. Faceless opponent, we're going to do our best every single week, and we're confident in our defense, confident in our ability. We have fantastic coaches. Coach Olson, all the other defensive coaches, they all do a great job, and they instill confidence in us. So when we go out there, we play our brand of football.
Bryce, talk a little bit about the connection you have with Cole, new starting quarterback this year. And like the first throw, that 30-some yard down the right sideline was, it couldn't have been thrown any better. I don't think if you were able to catch it.
Yeah, me and Cole came in together. So from true freshman, I remember one time we even found a baseball field in the summer to go throw. But it's just been a connection that's grown, throughout our time here. And obviously, in games a little different, but as you can see, that connection keeps growing stronger and stronger as well. Cole's a great quarterback all around, leadership, passing, running. He's the complete package. So anything I can do to help him make a play is the goal.
Bryce, how good did it feel to get one back on these guys based on how the last 2 years have gone against them?
Yeah, definitely. We mentioned it throughout the week. But I think something that benefits us is we really focus on playing our brand of football, kind of like Nathaniel said. This group is really growth driven. I think we go into every practice, trying to get better, no matter where you are on the depth chart. And I think that kind of showed on the field today.
Cole, what can you say about the offensive line today? I feel like you had a lot of time back there.
Yeah, obviously, we get in a Missouri Valley play, and it steps up a little bit. That competition steps up a little bit. And South Dakota, they obviously lost some players on defense, guys from the D-line, but number 10 was good. Some other vet guys, and the O-line did a great job just holding their own and stoning some of those guys. And so excited with that. Excited for the O-linemen. We're gonna keep getting better, and like I always say, we're nothing without those guys up front. So appreciate them.
Cole, Coach Polasek said that he's never been a part of a team that's had defenses just as much as they do to account for Bryce. That the whole field is shifting because they have to make sure they know where he is. What does that do for you, and how does that open things up maybe for some other guys for you?
Yeah, I think you hit it on the head there. It definitely opens up other things for other guys like Raja. He's had a big year so far, and then even our tight ends as well. Stepping up, Reese Kessel, guys like that. But then, as you saw in the first drive, and then later in the game, they want to try to double cover Cloud Bryce. He's still making plays, he's still making catches, and so it definitely opens up some things for other guys, like you said.
You mentioned Kessel. Just what did you see on that play? How have you seen his role kind of evolve throughout the course of the year?
Yeah, Reese is a big dude and has great hands, and he's fast for how big he is, and he's obviously stepped up this year, and so yeah, he just blew by the mic, and it was a one-on-one with our guy, so threw it up to him.
Bryce, when you see Cole take off running, or when you become aware that he's running, what's your reaction? What do you do? Obviously, you're going to block downfield.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, my first thing when I see his close scramble is try to get in the window to make sure he can't still throw it. But after I see him run down the field, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to block my guy because I know he's going to make at least one miss or truck one. So just make sure my guys will make the tackle and watch Cole go to work.
And that kid, Jackson was the beneficiary when Cole scrambled around back there, and Jackson got open along the sidelines and he lofted it up to him. Right?
Yeah, exactly. I think we emphasize a lot scramble drill. Cole's obviously very efficient with his feet, but he's also looking to pass down the field even when he breaks out of that pocket. So as receivers, it's our job to get in windows to find an open space.